I know that made it through. Zero context. Hey, internets. It's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise Academy. This is Season 2, Episode 11 of our Kids on Bikes RPG. I want to check something here. Are we coming through? Is the stream working?
Hold on. Let me look.
Yeah, on my stream manager, the very first frame that showed Mini Terrain Domain was just frozen. For some reason,
Leon.
the stream manager keeps freezing. I don't think the stream is freezing.
Nope, stream isn't freezing.
Aaron and Monty say that everything sounds and looks good.
Excellent. That's all I need to know. For some reason, my monitor is not looking good. But as long as you can hear us, that's great. We are going to get going. Oh, sorry. I didn't even say the title of the episode. It's Season 2, Episode 11 of our Kids on Bikes RPG. This is Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Hopefully that'll become clear throughout the episode, but it definitely should be clear to you if you watched last week's episode. And I've got some more shenanigans planned for this. While I am doing the announcements here, I would like all of you to roll a D100 for me. And put those in the chat, please.
Don't love that. Okay.
So we've got a handful of announcements coming up. First and foremost, I am super excited to announce officially, for the first time on this channel, or on this show, the Legends of Eleanor game that is coming up in April. Here we go. Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleanor, Zephyr Against the Mist, a Dungeons & Dragons charity livestream event happening on Saturday, April 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And look at this lineup. I was hinting at this, and now I can finally tell you. Of course, we have Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick returning to run a Prog-Core game in his home setting of the Dark Age of Thir. This is our second Legends of Eleanor, and he will be running for Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton. Oh, it gives me chills every time I get to say that.
Squee.
It's all fun and games until Wheaton starts touching people's dice.
Well, fortunately,
it's good that it's virtual.
It's all virtual, and he won't be in the same space as everybody, so we're hoping the dice curse doesn't extend. Tomiko has already put the seat bid chat command in because we are auctioning a seat off to play in this game. One lucky bidder is going to get a chance to join the virtual game table. This is a high dollar item. I'm not going to lie. We've got just a few days left in the auction, and it is currently sitting at $5,250 for that seat. But if you are somebody that does have that kind of money and you want to put it towards a fantastic cause, to get a what is probably going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity, this charity game is benefiting the Pavlov Foundation, which is a charity organization dedicated to fighting childhood cancer. For this particular event, we have a goal of $50,000, which is enough to be fund a research grant. And yes, thank you for bringing that up, Jeremy. Those kinds of donations, high dollar donations like this, can actually be written off for taxes because the Pavlov Foundation is able to provide for these seat winners in particular, I forget what it's called, but it's a special type of tax letter for charitable donations.
Check the caps. Check the caps, man. Like, what is it?
Yes.
The last few years, it's been capped at 300.
Well, yeah. Check your local tax laws or national, whatever, how all that works.
This is your weekly reminder to keep up on your local tax laws from MTD.
Right.
Oh, hey, also another good point. What is it? your federal income tax deadline's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this. But thanks for reminding people.
Tax time.
I do want to say that this is we are honored to be partnering with Todd and with the Pavlov Foundation. Todd is a friend, somebody that we've been very lucky to get to know over the last few years, and it's an honor to get to work directly with Todd on something that he's passionate about, that we're passionate about, and for an amazing organization like the Pavlov Foundation. They genuinely are an amazing organization. We work very closely with some of the folks over there. They're lovely people, and the mission is such a great one. Without saying too much, just learned that a friend is now affected by cancer once more. All the more reason to say F cancer. So get your donations in there if you're looking for a worthy cause, because it is a worthy cause. It is a noble cause to aid in the fight against child cancer. So April 20th, we hope to see you there. Stay tuned. We're also going to be having some things that will be auctioned. They're not really auctioned off. They'll be offered for donation incentives at high dollar amounts. We have a Beetle and Grimm's Shattered Obelisk box set. I will be printing and hand painting another dice tower this year that will be sent to Todd. Todd is going to autograph that. Talon and Claw is providing a custom engraved Dungeon Master screen that Todd will also autograph, and that will be put up. And we'll have some giveaways from Die Hard Dice, Pavlov Foundation, etc. for various swag. It's going to be an amazing few hours, roughly around 4 to 5 hours. Plus, you get to see Jonathan Frakes play D&D for the first time, along with all these other amazing folks.
What a delight.
All right, let's move on to a couple other quick announcements, as we've got a couple of things that have just come in. Now is a good time to talk about domain dice, or domain pops, as we call them in this game. Domain pops are a way that you, the audience, can have an impact on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, tipping $5, cheering 500 bits. All of those earn domain pops that the players can use like adversity tokens in the Kids on Bikes rule system, where each one represents a +1 to a dice roll to try to help them succeed at whatever challenge I place before them. Or they can choose to spend 5 to make themselves or somebody else roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table, where only good things happen. And when they use the domain pops, as I level out for our recent donations, you get to hear this fun sound. As the domain pops are eaten up, and Carrie's face lights up with delight.
I'm so happy.
Every time.
Just joyful.
Speaking of delightful, there is a new animated emote in the chat. Apropos of nothing. It's just called hand stuff.
Yay! It's animated.
Be sure to enjoy that. Yep, it's animated.
What a delight.
I tried to set it up like Stream Kitty and Doggo so that anytime somebody mentioned hand stuff, that it would show up. Like if anybody just typed hand stuff, but it kept breaking. So you have to actually choose the emote. And I do believe you have to be subscribed in order to use those, but I'm not positive. Last couple announcements before we get into the game proper. We are all adults playing as teens, children, and adults in a fictitious setting of Paradise, Michigan, set in the 1980s. We are at a fictional school, Paradise Academy. Our games, we're finding, deal with some... you might hear some adult language. You might hear some graphic depictions of violence. You will definitely see some dramatic situations, very emotional situations. There will also be topics that include bullying, divorce, and other other things that go along with school and school tropes. If that is not something that interests you, then please feel free to head on out, go somewhere else. We won't think any less of you. But do know that all of us here at this virtual gaming table, we understand everybody's lines and veils, and we have safety tools in place to keep everybody safe. We encourage you to do the same for your own games, whether it's a one-shot or an ongoing campaign. Have a session 0, get to know what everybody's lines and veils are, and put some kind of safety tool in place. It doesn't take a lot of extra effort to do that, and it will definitely make sure that you're going that extra step to ensure that everybody does feel safe and have fun. And then before I do the final one, actually, Ted, I believe you have something.
So thanks for letting me do this. So if this summer, after you've spent all of your extraneous funds to support the streams of Eleonora, and you still want to come do some amazing D&D, you can check out D&D in a Castle. August 18th to the 22nd, I'll be running a 3-day, 24-hour campaign. You'll get to DM, or you'll get to game with me if you select me as a GM, or if you just opt in for the let me game there. Well, then you might randomly be selected with me, or just get to hang out. However, it's you see fit. But D&D in a Castle comes with all your meals included. You get to stay at Mohican Castle, which I haven't seen yet, so I'm excited to see the new location, which the debut event is this summer, I believe, July. But it's three packed days of gaming. It's a lot of fun. It's very immersive, and it's just an experience that if you can budget it, it's well worth it. I can't wait to do it. And for my particular campaign, I always see what the players are interested in doing. I submit a handful of ideas and let them vote on what it is that I'm going to run. So go check it out.
All right, thanks, Ted. Final announcement. As we always do before every stream, we like to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It is true. There's any number of reasons why you might want to talk to somebody. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you just need to talk about a particular issue, or maybe you're in a good place and you just want somebody to talk to. You're unsure how to get started, we try to make it as easy as we can for you. Simply come into the chat, as Jeremy has done, and type !help. A couple URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise Academy. In the interest of a quicker recap, we're going to go around the horn here, and I want each of you to tell me real quick one thing that affected your character recently. Coop.
Well, thanks for starting with me, Jake.
You gotta start with somebody.
I guess I am going to go with Coop is building a better bond with some of the individual people, so he feels like he's building a better bond with Rosie and Laz.
Excellent. Jessica. Anne.
Well, Anne is having some difficulties fitting in, and coming to terms with the fact that she locked her twin in or reflection, whatever they are, in a alternate universe where she is all alone. Broke a girl's hand in a fit of anger, and is not on good terms with many of the people in the group, or the relationship is they're tumultuous. They're kind of at odds a little bit. But it's fine.
If Facebook were a thing in 1985, your relationship status with your friends would just be it's
Complicated.
Yeah. Yep.
Rosie.
I think Rosie's main struggle right now is trying to convince herself that this is the way that things have always been, and the other iteration was maybe just a dream, and she's trying real hard to just kind of go with the flow and make this her life now, and more she's being confronted with things that obviously dispute that, getting hit by a truck and surviving and being fine, and even like her mother is starting to look more and more like Ashley Raven all the time. And wouldn't that be a bitch if it happened to be Ashley Raven?
Billy.
So Billy is struggling on many different accounts. So it is probably too many to list all of them. But I would say his biggest struggle has to be how much he's nervous about, the iteration, and with us having school and all these things going on, it almost seems impossible to get all of us together at the same time to either have a conversation or to like really get a beat on where everybody is. So it's really getting to him, the fact that this just can't happen, or hasn't happened yet, whichever.
Laz.
Laz kissed a girl and he liked it.
Taste of her cherry chapstick.
And he may or may not spew up milk blood, because he could be an android. So, lots of fun things going on over here.
Spit up milk blood.
For all you Alien fans.
I was going to say, somebody's been watching a little too much Alien. Not bad for a human. All right. Well, and for Oak, Oak has been dealing basically with being a time anomaly. It's, as a conspiracy theorist, his own personal status is making it difficult for him to theorize conspiracies around these strange devices when he can't even safely interact with them. Not to mention that there seems to be at least 2 other versions of himself within this iteration. So, with that, I had you all roll D100s prior to this, because that's the order in which we're going to go through your scenes. D100 rolls aren't always bad. So, Laz, you are going to have the first scene. So when we last left off, you had just discovered that a translucent blue liquid instead of blood was leaking out of your hand wound, and the edges of your flesh looked like some kind of a micro mesh instead of skin, and tiny wires were arcing inside your hand as you stood between the art room and Nurse Hatchet's office. Laz, what are you going to do?
I think there's a long moment where he's kind of just staring at this damage to his hand. It's not even really, I don't know. It doesn't feel like maybe it's exactly a wound. But there's definitely a lot of confusion and concern that's playing out on his face. And he just says, "What the fuck?" All right. Not the nurse's office then.
Mhm.
And he's gonna go look for Oak.
Okay. I will say with that particular piece of narration, one thing that you do notice, and maybe it's shock, maybe it's something else. You do not feel any pain whatsoever in your hand.
That's handy.
Hey.
I'll be here all week.
Tip your waitress.
I'm gonna make a new
Try to deal.
icon that's a hand at the top above me. It's just every time hand stuff comes up.
Kind of like the applause sign.
D'Amico, did hand stuff make the bingo card?
Yes, it did.
It did.
Excellent. All right. Where are you going to look for Oak? As a reminder, I believe this is 6th period, isn't it? Yes.
It happened in art class,
Yep.
so
This was the last class of the day, and it's probably about. There's still about 25 minutes left in the school day.
it's only the second day of school. There is zero chance that he has memorized anyone else's schedule on top of his own. So
There is just past the nurse's office is the boys' restroom, and you are on
Yeah, I
the
might
first
just-
floor.
I might just move classroom to classroom and just kind of look in through the little, the tall, narrow window. Kind of press my face up against it and look as far back as I can.
Hey.
I want to see. I gotta see what everybody's 6th period is. So Rosie and Jessica are in gym. Billy. Oh, okay. Okay. You would actually see as you look at the nurse's office, and you go, okay, not the nurse's office, and you turn, and immediately, sort of kitty corner, at an angle across the hall, is the first classroom. It's Intro to Business. And looking in that room, you don't see Oak, but you see Billy.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so I think he's kind of scanning it first and not seeing Oak, and he's about to kind of decide to move on, and then he spots Billy, and he opens the door and he sticks his head in, says, Hey, Billy.
So what is currently going on with Mr. Hamilton? Is he are we doing assignments, or is he giving a lecture?
This is, as I said, there's about 25 minutes left in the school day, so I'm going to say that, why don't you, Billy, roll me a D100, and we're going to determine if he is in the room or if he's in the back room. At any rate, he has recently gone over filling out ledgers. For those that don't know, that's Excel on paper. So I'm gonna grab mine. All right, what you got there, Billy?
84.
The Mr. Hamilton has been in his office, which is actually sort of an annex room to this. There's an open door, and he's been in there for several minutes, so he could come out at any moment. So for the moment, just some of the other students are kind of looking up to see Laz, and then they're looking at you, Billy, and kind of like,
All right, I'll get up and I'll step out of the room. Laz, what's up?
Look, I don't really know how to explain it or anything, so I'm just gonna fucking show you, okay? Just don't freak out too much. And he literally just holds his hand up, right in his face.
So, Billy, he's just gonna, exclaim, "What the fuck?" And he
That's
grabs
exactly what I said.
grabs your hand and looks at it like what is this?
Hey, it's my fucking hand. Can I have it back?
I let go.
Look, something stabbed me in art class, and whenever I look down, instead of there being like normal blood, there's fucking Kool-Aid leaking out of me and wires and shit.
I think back. Laz got hurt before, right? Have we seen Laz bleed?
Come to think of it, no, I don't remember. Maybe.
The only injury I can remember wasn't really an injury, and that was the hallucination melting thing with the burning hand.
Jesus, Tomiko.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Like,
good remembering.
Hand stuff.
Laz would have been injured at some point. I just don't know if it's been throughout the scope of being here in Paradise. I mean, he's a skateboarder. He would have fallen down and hurt himself countless times.
All right.
But I can't remember him being hurt while he's been here.
All right,
Not that I recall either.
Okay. All right. So Laz, you've bled before, right?
Yeah. Lots of scraped knees and bum elbows.
And it wasn't blue.
He kind of looks at him like, "Are you fucking serious? You think I would have noticed?"
Look. All right. So, I guess I have to ask, are you really you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How do I answer that? Maybe if I could select pictures of a bicycle or something.
Prove you're not a robot!
I'm sorry.
In that moment, Laz invented CAPTCHA.
What a great idea. We'll have to write that down.
I'll be rich.
CAPTCHA invented by Lazarus Eccles in 1996.
Amazing.
Based on the concept in 1985.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
How do I find out?
Well, I mean,
Question: Are the two of you standing in the hall right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know how much you're open to, trying, but maybe we can kind of poke a leg or poke an arm and see if it's just the hand that's messed up, or if, I'm not trying to slice you open or anything. But if just the hand is the problem and the rest of you is fine, then we just have to have the mystery of this. But if all of you is bleeding blue, then that's a much bigger question. And holy shit.
Here behind you, and then you hear the staccato footsteps of high heel shoes approaching behind you. The way I'm imagining you are positioned is, Billy, you just came out of the classroom, so your back is to the door to intro to business. Laz, your back is towards the nurse's office. Billy, you can see over Laz's shoulder that Nurse Hatchet has just opened the door to her office and is walking the few feet to cross towards the two of you as she says, "Is there any particular reason that you boys are out of class?" She looks at her wristwatch. "School is not out for 20 minutes.
I just got dropped off for class on my way in. Mr. Stapler's driver stopped me and wanted me to pass on a message to him.
Yeah, you're gonna roll for that.
Make a deception roll. Oh wait. Okay.
You are going to roll. I think this is going to be an opposed grit check, because grit is sort of used as a way to read people.
I get a +1 for being a teenager whenever I'm dealing with adults. Is that right?
Yes.
Rebellious?
Is it?
Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was 3.
Oh,
I
maybe
think
it
it's
is.
plus.
Holy
I
shit.
think it's +3.
Well,
It's
hot
the
damn.
sorry. That's the rebellious strength. Is that what we're talking
Yes.
about?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
+3 to rolls when persuading or resisting persuasion.
Yeah.
All right, +3 to rolls when resisting or persuading children, or +3 to rolls when resisting persuasion from adults. So
Oh,
not
okay.
to persuade against
Yeah,
adults.
it's not offensive. Okay.
Just it's more your rebellion is keep giving you that bonus to not do what they say.
Gotcha.
How cool.
So yeah, let's do an opposed grit check.
Ooh, what is? Oh, that's just a personality flaw. It doesn't have mechanics. Okay.
What's your ranks?
Crank and gank. So drugs and stealing. So maybe.
He's stealing time.
That's the next T-shirt. Drugs and stealing. MTD.
Drugs and stealing.
I don't think either of those is going to help you here. So, do you currently have any penalties?
Yes, a mental penalty.
I think that's
the
going to
echo cooler
affect you
tank.
here because you're trying to think fast. So that's going to give you a -2. So you're going to end up with a net -1,
-2.
I believe on the, or no, just the -2. Sorry.
Yep.
Because there wasn't a bonus.
So it's
on
a
the other.
13 total. Lucky 13.
There's Hatchet rolled a 7.
Yeah.
She looks at you for a moment, and you're not sure in this moment if you've successfully convinced her. She lets that moment sit to that point where you want to speak up, and that's when she says, "Why haven't you gone to class then? There's no reason for you to still be standing here."
All right, so I'll double down on his his lie and say, all right, I got the message. Thank you, Les. We can talk more after school. Nurse Hatchet, I apologize for being in the hallway. I'll head back to class now, and unless she stops me, I'll walk back through the door and sit down.
She does not stop you.
So this is not the first time that Laz has told a bold-faced lie to an adult. I know that might shock a lot of people who are watching this game. But so he's kind of largely unfazed by this interaction, except for the fact that he's trying to hide whatever is going on with his hand.
Stick it in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what he did. But he's going to wait for Billy to leave and close the door, and then he's going to turn around and kind of shrug. Well, this has been lovely, but I got to get to class. Unless you want to walk me there.
I'm going to need...
I understand, some adults are very lonely.
I'm going to need one more check
God.
from you to try to hide the wound.
Nurse Hatchet is catching strays here. She's literally just doing her job.
What kind of check did you want?
Wow.
Give me another grit check.
Wow.
Would it be grit?
Grit is specifically... where did it go? They have this in a better place.
No, I think Jeremy's got a good grit die, so I'm not gonna fuck with that.
Yeah. It's my
Determines
best.
how hard it is to break a character emotionally or physically. Keep a level head in the worst of situations. Keep their cool when pushed hard. Also determines how street smart a character is. I guess the argument could be made also for future reference when trying to lie to somebody. I probably should have used the charm stat. But in this case, you're definitely trying to.
That would not have been good.
It's grit. We'll just say that.
Okay. I'm gonna burn 2 pops to make it a 10. Nice and even number.
All right. Now let's see. So that puts us at. Okay. And that's an 18 from Nurse Hatchet. As you turn and start to walk away, you hear one sort of click clack as she matches your pace, and then you feel her hand on your shoulder as she stops you and spins you around. Let me see your hand.
For the dance. What?
Do not make me repeat myself.
Well, I didn't hear you, so.
And
sorry.
Let me see it.
He pulls out his
You are
left hand.
You see she kind of frowns as she looks at it. Nurse's
the one that's
office.
okay,
Now.
anyway. His left hand was the one that's okay, but
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you hold up
I
your left
imagine-
hand?
yeah,
I didn't see
initially.
that. In which case, because she got an 18,
The other one.
she's gonna give you that same look you gave to Billy. Like, what? Come on. She's gonna give you that same look. Like, was I born yesterday?
He kind of slumps his shoulders. He pulls it out and he shows it to her, and he's almost like not recoiling, but he's kind of like tensing up, waiting for the freak out to happen.
There is no freak out. She takes your hand, she looks at it. He turns it over to see that the wound goes all the way through. And nurse's office now, as she points you in that direction, which is literally just like 8 steps away. And do you go first?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think he's definitely looking back down at his hand again, just making sure that it
Nothing's
is
changed.
actually all
Nothing's changed.
weird and robot-y. And he
As
just repeats, "What the fuck?"
As you
And he
walk
follows
into
her.
the room, we see from out in the hall as you enter, and Nurse Hatchet closes the door, and right before it closes, we just see her go. And from in the hallway, we hear as the door is locked.
Oh,
Billy, you're up
shit.
next.
He's in the clutches. Oh, no.
You've just gotten back to class. Now, this is you don't have to pick up exactly where this scene left off. It's the end of the day, last class of the day, so if you want to pick up with what you would do after class, whatever you want to do.
All right, so I'll do a quick rewind. Not that it needs anything, but I had said after lunch that I was cutting chemistry, and he slipped out into the stands underneath underneath the stands by the football field, to basically go unnoticed, and he basically just sat and thought. He was trying to mull a lot through his head. So he has spent the rest of the last 2 periods. He went to class and he's paying attention as best as possible, but he's been kind of jotting down his thoughts. So as we get to the end of the day, like, he's looking to try and like, get the the friend group together, but more importantly, he's trying to find Jessica.
Remind me, Jessica, it was during lunch, or was it during a class that you went out back and got into your altercation?
During second period when the power
Okay,
went out.
okay, that's right. That was earlier in the morning.
No.
Billy, I'm going to ask you to roll a D100. There is a 6% chance of something happening, which means you have to get within 3 of either side of the number I just wrote.
5.
No, 3. You rolled a 5?
No, I rolled a 5.
Okay. The thing does not happen.
Excellent.
You find yourself basically spending 4th and most of 5th period outside under the bleachers.
No, I just skipped chemistry. Just skipped the one period.
So then, yeah, the better
not
part of an
wanting to-
hour after lunch, you are under the bleachers, undisturbed, alone with your thoughts. Nobody knows you're there. And then eventually you return to class.
I just was looking to avoid the twins, as I'm trying to process all the crap that's going on.
Yeah, that's the only class we've established that you have with them is chemistry. So, all right. So then, yeah, you go to Mrs. Chance's calculus class and Mr. Hamilton's intro to business. Is there anything other than the interaction with Laz that you want to cover right now?
Yeah, I was looking to, as school is letting out and everybody's going every which way, I'm trying to find Jessica. Or Jessica.
So I think what we'll do is we're going to loop back to you then, because it's convenient that both Jessica and Rosie are sequentially next. And I believe we did not get to see the two of them interact in gym class. So what we're going to do is go to Jessica and Rosie in gym, and then after class, when class is done,
Sure.
Whenever you guys feel your scene wrapping up, depending on what happens, we'll take you out, and Billy will sort of be in the hall waiting for you guys.
Not to derail the plan, does Rosie make it to gym? Because at last check, I was finding a fucking mysterious Marcellus Wallace suitcase in my mom's office.
Yeah, so let's resolve that, because that'll give you something to talk to Jessica about, perhaps.
What if it's boring? What if it's just like fucking cold cash? Oh, well.
It's just your mom's diabetes medicine. She just doesn't want anybody to know
It's
she's
gotta be
diabetic.
refrigerated, so there's like a special compartment.
No, yeah, that's right. We did leave off with you discovered that the otherwise meticulous drawers, the second drawer to the left, down on the left, was surprisingly messy, and but in a way that looked deliberate. And when you pulled at any one of the random pieces of detritus in there, a false bottom was lifted. And we did not reveal what was in there, but we are going to reveal that now.
Oh boy.
What you find in this false bottom drawer is a cardboard box that is about a little more than 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches thick, and looks to be about 6 inches by 6 inches. An otherwise unremarkable box, except for the label that appears on this box, which is, find it here a minute. Be ready.
That was a really good one. And I think that fulfills our 80s music reference on the bingo card.
All spot of drawers make the rock and world go round. I like
All
that.
spot of drawers.
All right, let's see. Here we go. So I am going to display this on the screen, and at a certain point I will make it available in the Discord. But for the moment, I need to be able to actually read what this says, because it's going to be tiny on screen. So this label that you see at the very top says the Nexus Project.
Oh, shit.
It has the Two Cherries logo. From director Rebecca Jones, the Nexus Project, 2085 Lighthouse Parkway, Palo Alto, California, 95014. 2. Director Ashley Raven, care of Sherry Gunnarsson, 1138 Cherry Valley Road, Paradise, Michigan, 49630. And then there's a barcode with a long series of alphanumeric code, an item number, and some other things. I will make this available in the Discord.
Okay. Is the box, does it look like it's been opened, or
has
is it
been
not
opened.
opened yet?
There is on the thin side, the 2.5 inch thick side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see where shipping tape has been sliced open. The box has been opened, and it looks like somebody either opened it and didn't pull the contents out, or pulled them out and pushed them right back in at some point.
I want to frickin' see what the... Rosie makes a mental note of the name of who it came from, like, and where it kind of came from. She probably won't remember Palo Alto, but she'll remember California. And I want to see what's in the box. I want to kind of like look out at Miss Adams, and Rosie like has the piece of gum that she took out of the desk just sitting on the desk to be like ready, like, oh, found it. But she wants to see what's in the box.
Okay.
What's in the box?
So you open up the box. Inside is another box, very tightly fit into this
Jesus
box.
Christ.
This box is black. As you pull the box out, you see a all black box, slightly smaller than the previous box, with the same Paradise Orchards Nexus Project logo of the two cherries and the barcode that you've seen on animals and things like that, except it's embossed in silver. There is also a alphanumeric code directly below that. And there is a post-it note attached to the image that or to the box that says, Ashley, be careful. This specimen is potentially very dangerous. Becky. And that is the image that you see displayed on below me on the screen. The alphanumeric code is 5KYW4LK3R.
So Rosie would grab a pen off of her mom's desk and would write that on her hand and then put the pen back, put the box back.
Just one more thing about this box.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It has some weight to it.
I want to open the box. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. It's time. We're solving mysteries today.
Okay.
Let's go, gang.
This box opens sort of like the top part of it lifts off.
Like a new iPhone.
Yeah, you get that.
Whatever that is.
That little bit of that little
suction. I love it.
The box fart as you pull it
box
off.
fart.
As you pull the lid off, you see a clear, like crystal clear plastic case. There's a couple pieces of that white spongy foam surrounding it to keep it safe in transit. There is a plastic case like you'd put a trophy or, you know, baseball card or something like that in, except encased in this plastic is what looks like the hand of an 11-year-old child.
Oh.
The right hand of an
Oh
11-year-old child.
my god.
Hashtag hand stuff.
Bitch stole my hand.
Rosie would think about taking this, but then like think better of it because like, what if like she notices that it's gone, and so she just kind of like doesn't need to make too much of a mental note of what she found here, and puts the lid back on the box, slides the black box back in the cardboard box, puts it back in the false bottom drawer, puts the shit back on the false bottom drawer, and then shuts it quietly, and would leave the office and be like, Miss Adams, do you have my late pass?
I would like you to roll me a... Let's go with brains.
Oh, great.
Because you've just sort of been moving through doing this stuff, and you've taken a little bit of a shock, I want to see how well you remember where exactly everything was.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I got a 6.
Okay. You will not know the results of this immediately, if ever.
Okay.
I just need that number.
6.
As you carefully put everything back, you go out and ask Miss Adams, as she is already probably typing up some report or something. As you say that, she just reaches over to a stack of some papers and holds up a tardy slip for you.
Rosie doesn't even like break stride as she grabs the pass. She's like, "All right, thank you." And if I can add one little thing, and this might screw us later, but I can't help but think this is what would happen. As a camera pans back, Rosie has left the piece of gum that she got out of the desk on her mom's desk. Like it's just sitting there still in the wrapper.
Okay, because you did that, I'm going to, that it might screw you, and this might be the case, because
It's just for flavor. It was just flavor. It was just...
we're going to, so you got a 6.
That's the X.
Not only do you leave the stick of gum sitting, you didn't notice that as you were hastily putting everything away, the stick of gum fell into the drawer.
That's not good. That's worse.
The dice I rolled exploded. So,
Right. Off to Jim.
all right. For this, we'll go ahead. It's going to be both of your scenes, but we're going to go ahead and have Jessica. You can go ahead and start us off on where you are, and what you guys are doing. What are you guys doing on the second day in gym class?
Oh, I get to decide?
Yeah.
What the teacher is having us do?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh, I'm guessing it's still pretty nice out, the weather, so I would imagine
Yeah.
ish. So I would imagine that we're outside doing laps.
Yeah, actually, you are outside doing laps. And you're doing laps. Yeah, you're doing laps out in the why did I forget what it's called? The football field. Jeez. Totally forgot what it was called. And I think yeah, you're probably all spread out, people of differing abilities. throughout the track here. Remind me, Carrie, which class you were going to be late to? Was it woodshop?
I actually
or
was going to
it
be
sixth
late to
period?
woodshop,
Okay, it was woodshop.
and
Okay,
then
that's fine.
then we can. Yeah.
Okay, so how good of a? I guess it's less a question of how good of an athlete is Anne. How good does Anne appear to be doing in running laps? Oh, and while you're doing that, there's gonna be a slight scramble here because Chad's here.
Chad.
Yeah, I was gonna say we know that Anne or that Jessica is a secret track star. I would think that with Anne's strength, she's probably pretty powerful. So I think she's running, yeah, she's running pretty quick and eagerly, and I think that she finds herself almost using it as a way to kind of clear her mind, and I think that she almost doesn't really notice that she begins to walk, she begins to jog slowly, but I think as she kind of gets into her head and into her thoughts, and the the adrenaline kind of starts kicking in from the run, she just starts passing people and just begins to pull ahead.
While Jessica is doing this, Rosie, you're in this class. You're running laps. Are you starting out with Jessica? Are you noticing Jessica's kind of picking up the pace? Where are you? What are you doing?
I would think that Rosie would maybe have like permission to not run because she's got a basketball game tonight. So maybe she's like doing push-ups and sit-ups and other kind of shit like that, like on the infield.
Is that a thing? You have a game tonight, so you don't have to run?
Well, no, not anymore. But it probably was in the 80s.
Okay.
Now
we also hit by a truck yesterday.
We run them into the ground. Right. I have a doctor's note. My whole body was crushed yesterday. I have 1 day off of running.
And even the gym teacher was hesitant, like, I guess.
They had to see the note. She had to see the note, for sure.
Because you look fine.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Miss Ironside was absolutely like, yeah, you look fine. Let me see this note. All right, doesn't look like you forged it. I don't know. Go do some.
If you don't believe me, Coach, you can call my mom. And Rosie would go over and would start doing sit-ups. And she's not trying to be lazy about this, but
I'm sorry. As you say that about calling your mom, she looks at you and just goes, "That won't be necessary." And as she's walking away, we just see this over-the-shoulder shot of you kind of starting to do whatever, and we see her starting to walk off frame, and she just goes, "Cocky little bitch." and then
awesome.
Immediately blows the whistle to tell somebody who's not running to get running past.
Pick up the pace.
Yeah,
that's great.
I need to get a coach's whistle.
Yeah,
toot toot.
I'll get you set up.
So yeah, while you're doing whatever you're doing or not doing, then you see as the students are running laps, and
I'm kind of waiting for Jessica to run out of steam a little bit. I might run a little bit, but she's going too fast.
Roll a flight check. Just see what your endurance is on this.
Okay, the flight. That is a 9.
Ooh. Oh my god. She's training for a half marathon.
She's trucking along.
Rosie is like inwardly impressed. She's like waiting for you to slow down, and it feels like it's been a while that she's been waiting. Like it's like, damn.
Yeah, this is a impressive. This is like a long distance pace that she's picked up. She's fallen into the zone and is not showing any signs of letting up.
Jesus Christ. So I guess eventually Rosie would just bite the bullet, and like as she's coming up the home stretch, Rosie would kind of like stand up and kind of like get ready and like try to meet her, kind of like try to match pace as she's coming up.
Yeah. I think also you notice Anne has bandages on her hands.
Yeah, right. So Rosie would trot up beside Jessica and just be like, this has to be fast because I can't do this for more than like probably 2 laps. Why do you look like Thunderdome?
Jessica just slow down for Rosie. Like just kind of you can see that she kind of looks like a little surprised, like she was absolutely in the zone and you just kind of like brought her back to whatever she was in. So
Hey, Earth to Jessica.
God, you and Les are weirdly alike.
No, shut the fuck up. No, we're not.
You guys are like kind of perfect for each other.
Shut up, Jess. And Rosie's like, she stumbles, like she trips a little bit, like as they're running. And they're like, so, listen, I found something in my mom's desk. And I imagine like we're on the far side of the football field now, so we're like far away from other people. And I imagine the other girls have probably dropped out of the race here anyway. And so she's like, I found a box and it's got a hand in it. Like a little kid hand, like an 11-year-old kid hand. Jess, don't you remember?
You do not see recognition cross because Anne wasn't there for
right.
like,
I know
for that. So
that
yeah,
strikes Rosie as weird.
Yeah, you see Jessica like that's like really creepy, right?
And Rosie would just kind of like squint and be like, yeah, it's creepy. It's weird as shit. It's weird as anything else around here. And it got delivered. It was like in the mail, and it was from like California. It was some and it had the things on it, the cherries from like Paradise Orchards.
Whose hand do you think it is?
And ooh, okay, can I like make some kind of a check to see like what check would that be to see if I am suspicious of this?
That's a grit.
It would never fucking
Grit is your ability to read somebody else, and this is not going to be an active check for you, Anne, because you're not like trying to hide anything.
Deceptive.
It's genuine ignorance. So I have a DC in mind that you're trying to beat.
Okay. I'm gonna add 2 pops to this to make it a 15.
Oh.
Is this? Do I realize that this is off? This is weird.
Yeah.
So Rosie would then shrug and be like, "How the hell should I know?"
The DC was 12. You beat it by 3.
Woo! Didn't need the pops, but thank you all for the pops. Rosie would be like, "How the hell am I supposed to know whose hand it is?" And she's
I don't know. It's like your mom.
I don't. And Rosie is coming to terms with the fact that this is like not her mom, and she like never had a mom, and it's terrible. But she would be like, "It came from California. It was shipped from California. Some scientist, some Rebecca something. I forgot the last name on it. But from the Nexus Project, it said."
You see, Jessica stop, like full on, just like, like skid.
Rosie
like
makes it a couple
skid.
more steps before she also skids, and she's like, oh, "Shit."
Rebecca, like that's like a super common name, right? Like especially in like California.
Rosie really searches her memory. Does she remember the last name? I did say she made a mental
was
note,
gonna
but
say,
Carrie forgot the last name.
You said that. I could have swore you said you were writing stuff down.
Carrie was making mental notes, which
Oh.
means nothing is written down here.
I thought I heard you say that Rosie was writing something down. I could have been.
Oh, I wrote down Skywalker numbers on my hand.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't write down the whole damn shipping label. That
Um,
would have been taken too long.
It's relatively recently, and it was a common enough name that I will give it to you. It's Rebecca Jones,
Rebecca Jones it was.
which canonically we did not. I don't think we said her name, but that's her name.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
Jessica see it on the fucking papers that she was going through that one day? There was like all kinds of weird legal documents. Could that have been?
Yeah.
Well,
It
she
might
would
not
just
have been.
know.
I think she would just
I mean,
know.
she
Yeah,
knows.
you would know.
Right,
It's
right,
the-
right.
It's
Obviously.
the woman your dad left your mom for. You know her name.
Yeah.
Becky. It's Becky.
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 Yeah. So Jessica's.
What?
What the fuck? She says.
So the hand in the box didn't give you any pause at all, but Rebecca Jones made you stop?
That's like my stepmom.
She live in California?
Yeah. That's the bitch my dad is about to marry.
Oh, and she and my mom are like in cahoots.
You know what? I kind of see it. I should have called it. They both wear like those weird pantsuits.
Ah, the pantsuits. The shoulder pads. They're going out. They're going
We
out.
can't trust anyone in pantsuits.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. So we got to do something about this. We got to figure something out. I don't know. I don't know what to do, Jess. I don't know what to do. There's so much shit going on and
You feel a hand on your shoulder, Rosie. Jessica's like, hey, it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna figure this out, but I think we'll have to have a talk. There's a lot of shit. Oh! There's also like vampires.
okay, I really could have done without that added.
But
piece
you
of
can't tell
information
Billy
right now.
that tell
won't-
Billy that I told you that. But
I won't
like
tell you.
nuts.
I won't tell him. No, that's really fucked up. I hate to break this to you, Jess. You're terrible at the whole comforting and the anxiety thing.
She's like, oh, sorry.
I have a fucking game tonight. Oh my god. Okay. We need to get together. You're right.
There's too much information, and I'm sorry that you couldn't continue living the life that you wanted, but I think you might see now that can't happen.
And Rosie just kind of doesn't say much to that. She looks like she's processing it, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And
you see you see like genuine sympathy in Jessica's eye. Like she's not like smug or anything about being technically right. Like you can see that genuinely she like that sucks.
Really does. So Rosie would just kind of like is there like a big like clock out here at the football field, like a running clock of some sort?
The scoreboard wouldn't be on during the day.
No, I'm not saying like a clock to know what time it is, like to literally, or is Coach Ironside just checking her watch?
I think it's Coach Ironside would typically 10 minutes before the end of class would tell you all to hit the showers.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a game tonight. Can you get the gang together and maybe, I don't know, we'll meet at Maniacs or something? And
Yeah.
I'll catch y'all there after the game.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Would it make sense, and I'm leaning on Carrie, your high school sports knowledge, You're essentially a freshman. So
Yeah.
would it make sense that your game's probably relatively early in the evening?
Yeah, it would. So I've actually given this a lot of thought. I think Rosie actually probably made JV, if that's a fair,
That's
like
fair.
she's next level up. And so her game would probably be started about 5:30, be done at about 7.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else before you guys hit the showers?
Me. Rosie gives one last look as they're kind of continuing to run. You catch Rosie kind of looking just with a hint of suspicion over at Jessica.
We cut to excuse me, as the final bell of the day has rung. You guys are coming out of the gym, and Billy is kind of waiting out in the hallway outside of the locker room entrance when you get out there.
So, I mean, I imagine, there's just this. When Billy spoke to Jessica this morning, he was already somewhat frazzled, and the day certainly has not gotten any better. But as I imagine the two of you are walking together. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Us? Yeah, I didn't know if you
Yeah.
were talking about us two or somebody else. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's probably fair.
So hey Rosie, hey Jess,
Billy.
Jess, could I talk to you for a minute alone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rosie kind of bumps Jessica and be like,
Jessica gives like that, like the eyes of like, shut up.
shut up. Perfect. Amazing. Anyways, I got a sports ball to do. I'll see you guys later.
So Billy kind of stutters a couple of times trying to start talking, takes a deep breath. It's like, look, we were talking this morning about the dance, and you reacted when I had said that Vicky had asked me. Are you going with anyone yet?
You see Jessica blush, like just turn red, and she, well, like, I don't think that you should like be going with like vampires or whatever. Like that's kind of, weird. But no, I'm not going with anyone.
Do you want to go with me?
Oh my god.
You see Jessica just like grin broadly, and she yeah, that would be like, and she's like twirling her hair.
Oh. This is the best. My heart.
No, I mean, gotta understand there's already all kinds of crappy stuff, and you're not gonna believe what happened during the day today. But like, you're gonna have a target on your back if once this gets out, because I don't think Vicky's gonna like it, and I know you're tough, and I just want you to have all the information. Definitely don't want to talk you out of it. Just
Jessica nods. I think I can handle Vicky. I'm not afraid of her, she says matter-of-factly. And you see that same look that Anne gave to Meredith. Like just a little flicker of that look.
And that's when you hear, Not afraid of who? As Vicky comes walking up.
Oh my god! The drama!
Just for full transparency, I did a D100 baseline and rolled the D100 myself. The baseline.
Is that what your face was a second ago?
Because
I saw your face.
The baseline was 14, and then I rolled a 17 to see if Vicky was going to show up.
Ooh.
So even I'm rolling really close to what's rolled on the D100s. So yes, Vicky, as you say, I'm not afraid of Vicky. That's when Vicky shows up. She's currently not with Victor.
What the hell? That's
almost
creepier.
Where is he? Where is he?
So
Where's the other one?
Yeah, exactly.
You're walking into a spider
He's
web.
nearby.
I've never seen you guys so paranoid about where somebody isn't.
Where they aren't.
As Vicky walks up, since it's the second day, she has chosen to wear. She is wearing. I think Guess jeans were really popular at this time, so she's got like the Guess jeans, and she's wearing red Doc Martens and some kind of a stylish red top. Everything. And there's some red accessories that are kind of she's got her hair is kind of done up into two like pigtails or whatever with like red bands, and she's just kind of holding her books, clutching them to her chest as she walks up to the two of you, just with a little spring in her step. Not afraid of who?
You, like, when she sees that, Billy, you can feel like Jessica doesn't, like, I don't know if she would touch you, but you feel like her like getting like kind of closer, like taking like a step in to you a little bit. Just Coach Ironside. She's kind of aggressive.
Yeah. Started the second day and her and I do not get along. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Trying to diffuse the the ever-growing tension there. What did the coach do to you? Looking to Vicky.
Oh, it's not that she's done anything to me. She seems to have it out. I think it's jealousy. So, Billy, and she kind of takes a step closer to you, and she's still clutching her books, but she kind of does that thing where she leans in and bumps her shoulder against yours. And she glances at you, Jessica, as she says, "So, have you given any more thought about going to the dance, Billy?"
I unfortunately am going to have to decline. I just kind of nod at her and like stifle how much more I'm wanting to say, but I bite it off.
Oh, well, it's your loss, and I'm guessing your gain.
Jessica snorts like, it's not a game, Vicky.
No. Say, you guys hang out with that skater boy, right? The one with the broody looking kid with the long
Laz?
Yeah, Laz. Is he going to the dance with anybody?
Jessica laughs like, trust me, you are not Laz's type.
We'll see about that.
At all.
We'll see about that. We'll let Laz decide for himself. Well, here's my brother. And on the other... So you guys have been sort of facing Vicky having this conversation. And as she says that, Victor's standing right there next to you, as if he were there the whole time. Just on the other side of you guys.
Oh my god.
I'm ready to go. And Victor just kind of gives a smile to the two of you, and He looks at where Vicky is walking away, and then he looks back at the two of you, raises his eyebrows at Billy as kind of like a huh, and then looks at you, Anne, Jessica, and kind of when he looks at you, he just does that, gives you the once over, and then smiles and turns and walks away.
Jessica wants to put every mean girl fiber of her being into the most disgusted face that she can muster. She just wants to send that as a laser beam at this guy as he makes as he makes this look.
Go ahead and make a charm roll.
Okay.
Amazing.
The anti-charm roll, maybe?
Woo! Exploded.
What?
Yeah. I got an 11.
We're kidding.
Oh,
You exploded
damn.
twice and got an 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to use 4 pops
Yes.
to make
Yes.
it just a 50. Like she's just
Perfect.
Okay. So let's see. That takes us. What are we at right now? Can't see them. 43. So that's 39.
Very proud of you.
Because I just did basic math.
Yes.
So you're spending 4 pops to make that a 15, which is what Victor rolled, was a 15.
Oh.
So you put the most mean girl look into this look of disgust, and he doesn't react to it the way you had hoped. He just kind of, he looks at you and he goes, and turns and walks away. You have not deterred Victor.
Ew.
He's kind of into it, maybe?
Ew. Ew. Like Jessica just is like, ew, ew. Ew.
Oh God.
Those
Oh.
two
So once
give me the
they're
creeps.
like out of like complete earshot, Billy lets out an audible sigh.
Why are they like so obsessed with you? Is it because you're also
Honestly,
like a werewolf?
I don't know if it's like he looks around to see if anybody overheard that. I think part of it might be that, but part of it is like they've got money, my family's got money, so like they just assume that they could just kind of collect me and that money should stay with money. I think that's all horse crap.
I don't. We should. I don't think Laz. I know that Laz would not fall for that. I hope.
Isn't he
She
already
says-
like? Isn't he already smitten with Rosie?
Yeah. Yeah. And I have total confidence in that. But like sometimes guys are dumb. Sometimes they're stupid. So we gotta.
Being one of those aforementioned guys, I will agree.
I couldn't agree more.
But
we should we should let everyone know. We should all meet for pizza tonight.
Before or after the game?
After. Rosie's gonna swing by after the game.
Is everybody gonna go watch, support our team?
Yeah. Jessica nods. She's like, yeah. Oh, is it just practice that she has, or is it a game?
It's a game.
It's a game. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Let's do that, and then we can go for pizza after and have a talk. There's a lot
Hopefully
of information.
And like I said, even more in some things that I don't feel comfortable talking about here.
Yeah. Jessica nods at that.
So yeah, until tonight. And he kind of like leans in to, offer a hug.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jessica will like get the hug, and then if Billy like leaves after, you just see like she does like the little like she clutches her books and does like the little tiptoe dance of like just excited.
That's awesome.
And then she's off to go find the littles and Laz.
All right.
I have to add that knowing that it's actually Anne, the subtext that it adds to the entire exchange is just so good.
Perfect.
And-
It's perfect.
Yeah, especially since in the first iteration I was playing Anne, and I'm the one that started Anne out flirting with Billy.
Great.
So
You birthed this.
I would have used different words, but
No. No.
I think
But it leads to the building drama of what's going to happen
yeah.
when it comes out. Will it change something? Will it not?
So
I know.
Well, and it colors like Anne's fight for like why she's wanting to be the one that's still out. Obviously there's probably other reasons as well, but this gives her like, a goal to grab. It's so good.
this is a great place. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. I know traditionally we would take a 10-minute break, but we haven't been lately for some reason. But I can't not take a break. So we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, Coop, you will be up, followed by Oak. And again, as you're thinking, especially Chad, because you weren't here previously, just be thinking about where in the school day. It doesn't have to be at the same time of the day. If there's a different point in time you want to pick up. So yeah, if you're hanging out in the audience, please stick around. We'll be back in 10 minutes or less. So if I can get my buttons to work here. There we go.
Yay.
We'll see you on the other side. And we're back. Coop, where are we? What's happening?
We're all just sitting here. So I think I'm going to pick up in the hallway where Coop had found himself after he'd fled from the art class.
That's right. Coop was angry, irrationally angry at Laz, yelled at Laz, and stormed out in angry crying.
Burst into tears and ran out of the class.
Yes, that's where do you go once you run out into the hall?
Well, Coop's just running down the hall until he finds a bathroom.
Just past the nurse's office is the boys' bathroom. The end of the hall.
He's gonna duck in. Oh, I'm right next door to you, Laz. You're in danger. So, oh, actually, you're probably just behind me. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, Coop ducks into the bathroom, and he checks under the stalls for feet.
No poopers.
Okay, and then he gets into one of the stalls, locks the door, and like tucks his feet up so no one will see him if they're looking. And he opens up his coat, and he pets Templeton. He's talking to him some more. And he's like, I don't know what happened, Tempy. I just got so mad.
Whatever anger caused you to snap at Laz, burst into tears and run out, seems to have been left behind. You're now left just with that feeling, almost a hole in your emotions, that feeling of being brought to tense emotions and now having nowhere to place those emotions. Templeton kind of peeks out of the inside of your jacket as you're scritching between his ears and twitches his nose a little bit. I heard. I don't know what happened. I must admit, I don't understand human teenagers.
Well, I don't either, but like that's never happened to me before. I felt so angry, like I almost could have punched Laz, but then I cried and I ran.
Running was probably the best thing you could have done in this case. I don't know if punching Laz would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Side note, is Laz the whole ass kid that you punched once before?
Who, me?
Didn't you punch a whole
No,
kid?
Laz punched Oak.
Oh, okay, I got confused. I was
Laz
thinking
punched
you were
the
the
whole
one.
ass kid.
I just
And the
remember
kid was Oak.
Jessica saying he punched the whole kid, a whole entire kid.
Does that count for I'm Coop, he's Oak?
I
I'm
was
counting
just going
it.
to count
I
that.
mean,
I'm counting it too.
technically, I did mix
Yes.
the two of you up.
Yep,
So,
I'm counting that.
on a technicality, for the bingo card, I screwed up Coop and Oak. Anyway.
So Coop's gonna wipe his eyes and be like, oh, I'm gonna have to apologize to Laz, I guess. Let's go back to class and apologize.
Are you sure you're okay?
I feel okay. I'm not angry anymore. I feel guilty.
Oh.
I feel the shame.
If you don't know where the anger came from, maybe it wasn't your anger.
How could I have somebody else's anger?
You said that you were hearing Persephone?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Do you think she'd be able to do something like that?
If you were
Oh,
hearing
shit.
Persephone because she's talking to you, and you got angry at Laz, Persephone does have reason to be angry at Laz. Did kill her, after all.
Yeah, that probably makes so
That pissed me right off.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure that would upset someone.
Personally, I think that's an overreaction, but you know.
So
I don't really know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really good at understanding teenage emotions, but I do know Persephone, or did. But yeah, if you think you're feeling better, maybe it would be good.
yeah, I need to go. We need to go apologize to Laz while I do.
Well,
Okay, we can do this.
maybe
Come
you
on,
could-
Tempe.
Maybe you can put in a good word for me. Laz seems unhappy with me.
I'm trying. I don't understand why they all feel that way. I'm trying. And Coop unlocks the stall, leaves the bathroom, and I want to think that Laz's entire interaction with Billy and then the
Oh,
nurse
yeah, absolutely.
happened while I was in the bathroom.
As
Yeah.
the door
So
clicks,
cutting
door
back
opens.
to the nurse's office
Absolutely.
door closing and hearing the camera pans, and that's when the door opens up and here comes Coop out of the boys'
Oh.
bathroom.
Wow.
Coop's gonna go back to art class and then realize that Laz isn't there. So he's pretty confused.
Yeah, when you get back to class, Mrs. Neebly is over at the table where the two of you were sitting and is just finishing putting the rest of the drafting supplies back into the box. Neither her nor anybody in the class seems to be overly concerned or have in any other way reacted, except for one kid who screamed, "What the F?" when it happened. Nobody else seems to be concerned.
It's a pretty chill art class, apparently.
I don't know a ton of high-strung art classes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So Coop looks at the clock to see how long's left of school. And he'll sit back down.
About 15 minutes.
Yeah, he'll sit back down, finish folding his origami, and so he's got something to turn in, and he's just watching the door to see if Laz comes back in.
Laz does not return before the final bell rings.
Did he leave his backpack?
That's a question for Laz.
Or
I
your
think so.
binder or whatever.
So
Yeah, I think so.
Coop will grab whatever it is you left behind.
I imagine it's a little awkward. Do you keep your skateboard strapped to your backpack?
No, in my locker.
Okay. It's still probably a little awkward. I imagine there's a slight
There's all kinds of
rattle
other shit in there.
a slight rattle of spray paint cans in the bottom of the back.
Yep.
We've already
Absolutely.
established that Coop's backpack, it was like 90 pounds.
That's
Are you
true.
still carrying the silver bar in there? Like,
Yes, I am.
Jesus
And I'm
Christ.
pretty sure it also probably has a slight odor of skunk.
God.
So
Skunk or
Coop's
skunk
like-
weed?
exactly.
Ah, Laz's backpack's stinky, and it's really heavy. Ugh. And Coop's gonna go wait like in front of the school after
Oh,
class,
can I
just
ask?
to see if you show
I don't
up.
know if Coop would have noticed or not, but is there any blood on the desk?
Oh.
Was there?
I think that
I think Neebly would have probably just mopped it up, thinking it was
that
paint.
as Neebly was cleaning up all the drafting supplies, probably grabbed a paper towel and wiped it up, thinking it was some kind of a like gesso or
Perfect.
paint or mixture thereof. With it not looking like blood, there was no reason to think that it was. So where are you heading, Coop?
Coop's gonna head to the main entrance, and he's just gonna wait to see if Laz comes by.
Okay. I think
Or whoever.
I think that as you head to the main entrance, you would probably show up right around the time that Billy is turning and heading out has turned and headed out the door already, and you just catch the tail end of Jessica's / Anne's little happy dance as you see her just sort of clutching her books and doing just a little, and that's when you walk up carrying both backpacks.
Oh, hey, Jessica. Wow, you look really happy, Jessie.
You see Jessica smiles at you, Coop, and she nods. Actually, I was looking for you. There's some of us who are gonna watch the game and then go for pizza after.
Do you know if Laz is going?
I I haven't seen Laz, but I'm gonna ask him. Have you seen him?
Oh, I was in art class with him, and some stuff happened, and I ran out of the class, and when I came back, he was gone. So I've got his stinky backpack.
Gross. Well, what do you mean that like stuff happened?
Well, well, he was talking to me, and I just got really, really angry. I don't know why. I just got really angry, and I thought for a second I was gonna hit him, but instead I started to cry, and so I ran away.
Jessica does not know how to respond to that.
Oh.
She just,
Okay.
are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay now, but I have to apologize, and I can't find him.
All right, well, why don't we like go look for him? I have to talk to him too, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right, you two begin a trek looking for Laz. Oak, where in time and school location are you?
Oh, geez. First of all, can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure I'm not
Yep.
like
Yes.
weird right now. Okay, cool.
We can hear you, and you're weird.
And you're
so-
weird.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everything I've always wanted. No, I think that Oak would probably shoot. Trying to remember where he would have left off. He'd probably be in, I want to say geometry right now, maybe, because the last time we caught up, he would have been in computers with Laz. So,
I mean, it doesn't.
you know what?
have
No,
to...
let's have him be in his last class in journalism. Because
Okay.
that seems appropriate.
That's interesting. Oh, okay. I have all your class schedules in a Google Sheets, and when I went to click on it, it was completely blank.
Oh no.
But I fixed it. It's fine. You are in journalism. Wait, journalism's your first class.
Journalism is my 6th class according to this schedule that I have here.
According to the schedule I have, you have journalism in first period, and
Oh.
AP English Lit and Comp in sixth period. Is that
Oh,
is
interesting.
that an opposite
I
of what it
wrote-
is?
That's the opposite. I have
Oh,
it
that's
written down
fine.
as its
That's fine. We
first
can.
sentence.
I'll switch them. I'll switch them out then.
Yeah.
It's your class schedule.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Actually, quick question for you, Jake. Does this school have a Dungeons and Dragons club yet?
The satanic panic. I don't think this
Yeah,
school
well,
would
I
allow it.
mean-
This is a private school.
I don't know that that would necessarily be a make or break on this.
AP Club is the apex of dorkiness.
So just for game's sake, because after
Mhm.
all, we are playing a game. Let's
Yep.
have you roll a D100, and I'm going to
Sounds
say
proven.
there's an 8% chance, we'll say, that somebody else, an older, an upperclassman or class person, has established the D&D club.
All right, so I rolled 10 exactly. I rolled double zeros and a 10. So
And I rolled an
Hopefully
85, which means nobody has yet established the D&D club.
nobody has established it. Okay. So
We'll add to that
That's
a
a
little
little
bit. We'll
sad
say that there
to
used
hear.
to be a D&D
Um,
club, but 2 years ago, the
Mhm.
person that ran it graduated, and then it sort of fell apart because nobody was there to keep it going.
gotcha. Okay. So I think he is in journalism class, but I think he's in the process of trying to design a D&D club poster.
Okay.
Right? Just to try to like get his mind off of stuff. But one of the things that I think he is still thinking on is his brain keeps going back to that computer over and over and over again, because something tells him that he's like, I gotta eventually get back there. But today we're gonna focus on what I want to do, what I need to focus my brain on.
Called self-care.
I would like
Yeah.
you, as you're designing this, I'm not going to make you do any kind of rolls, obviously, for your design. If you choose to design on your own what Oak's D&D Club design would look like, that's great.
Okay. That's awesome.
I am going to have you make a brains check. Because
sounds good. I can do that.
Particularly when being artistic and creative, oftentimes our minds wander and our subconscious begins to mull over problems.
Okay. So I actually got a 16 on the die.
Okay.
For a D out of a D20. So
yeah, that's gonna be passing. The DC I set was 14. So what happens is, as you are sitting in class and sort of doodling on this design while Mr. Webster is mostly going over the various tools, talking about how in the coming weeks you'll be given different journalism assignments that will go towards the school paper. Some of you, somebody's already been assigned to cover the game tonight. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff, talking over tools, talking over even some of the tools within the classroom, the mimeograph machine and offset. There's probably a small version of an offset press and things like that. You're just doodling, and your mind keeps going back to taking that computer apart and trying to fit that chip, that washer device from Laz, and seeing all those weird schematics and everything that popped up, and your brain starts to slowly assemble some pieces of a puzzle, not the entirety of the puzzle. It's kind of like when you find that first piece and you realize, wait a minute, I know what the other pieces are that go around it, and it's just one little section of that puzzle, but you start to form this picture. And it's a little ambiguous, and I'll tell you what you sort of begin to realize, and you can finish assembling it however you think that Oak would. Rather than looking at the puzzle in its entirety, you start thinking about the chip itself, and the fact that when Laz tried to hand it to you, he couldn't. A couple of times he tried to hand it to you, it just stayed with him. And then when placing it inside the computer and applying power to it, gives you an indication that this thing has in itself its own sort of self-contained power. It is not a power source, but it has something that powers it independently, which on that micro scale in 1985, for something to have a significant amount of power at that size is just that's like cutting edge technology. Not even IBM has microchips that are this small. And you realize when you start thinking microchips and microprocessors and control units, and you realize this thing is like it's establishing a connection between Laz and something else. It represents a token, or a cookie, if you will, establishing a connection between Laz and something else. And as you sort of start to assemble that little bit of it, you realize the pieces that you're missing is, where does the rest of this connect? What is this thing establishing a connection? What is Laz being connected to remotely by this thing?
Right. So there's just like this string of consciousness that is put down on the paper amongst the D&D doodles. So you've got like dragons and like little bit, little things. Meanwhile, multiple like connotation, like or calculations and all these kinds of things are going on here. He's also trying to take down notes. His brain's going in multiple different directions. The worst kind of ADD possible.
It almost looks, I can imagine part of it almost looks like the old school graph paper maps for D&D.
Yep.
Except instead of mapping out a dungeon, it's like you've mapped out circuit boards, but in the style of a Gary Gygax old school map.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Yeah, it looks like a map for anybody looking at it, but to him, he knows that like that's what it looks like, the circuit board. And so I think after a while he'll start like writing down questions, writing down things he wants to ask Laz. Also this uncontrollable like frustration that he has with Laz, but then now he can't understand why he has that because of the conversation that he had with Hines and how that changed. So he has these bent up emotions that he can't understand either. So he's got like questions like, why are you angry at Laz? Where did that come from? Why are you angry at Laz? Why were you angry at Hines? Why is that even a thing? What's the microchip about? Just this list of all the things that he wants to ask people when they get together. And after a while, he'll realize that he has filled up an entire page of just doodles, and it looks like a Rorschach map of just ballpoint pen on graph paper. He kind of looks up, tries to see if the class is still going or if they're done for the day. Like he's got into that much of a tunnel vision state.
I think given that there's this this 80s style montage, but it's all just you having these thoughts, the classic voiceover slightly with a slight reverb of why is Laz mad? Why am I mad at Laz? Why am I mad at Hines? And they're sort of overlapping and close up of you drawing in ballpoint pen, and at some point your drawing gets super intense and the pen is like cutting through the paper. Like at some point you're shading, when you draw with a pen and you start shading in one spot and you keep going and keep going and keep going, and it just tears through the paper, and that's sort of what snaps you out of it. And you realize you're in the class alone.
Oh, okay.
Class has ended, the last bell rang, and even the teacher left.
The teacher just left him there.
Teacher.
All right, bud. Deuces. I gotta go.
Look, Mr. Webster
oh, man.
is not the greatest of teachers.
Fair.
Oh, did we lose Chad?
Yeah. We're never gonna figure out what Oak did. While we're trying to get Chad back, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing. The one Em is wearing, and all kinds of other ones. You can get the stuff on mugs and tank tops and hoodies and all kinds of great other items. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain. He's back.
Except for Ted's. That was limited edition.
Ted's is, that's a limited edition, unfortunately. Get in on the ground floor now while we still have all these great shirts before they get discontinued.
Hashtag hand stuff shirt coming soon.
Oh my god.
Chad, you said, okay, fine, and then you froze. So I don't know if you said any more after that.
I think what he would look at is he'd look around the room, realize that it's empty, and look at his new pocket watch and realize that the time is actually getting close to school is done. He wants to be able to attend the game with his friends, so he's gonna be like, oh man, okay, I gotta go. And he stuffs everything back in the backpack, and then like rushes out into the hallway.
As soon as you rush out into the hallway,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
you run smack dab into somebody.
Oh, sweet. I'm down.
And you sort of bounce off of them. It's an adult. You can tell by their much larger size. You bounce off of them, but they quickly grab hold of your shoulders and stop you from just falling down on the ground. And you hear, "Oh, there you are. I was looking for you." And Dr. K standing in front of you, lab coat and all.
You were looking for me? Why were you looking for me?
I need your help. Your Laz, your friend Laz, our friend Laz needs your help.
Okay,
And
yeah, no, say no more. I'm there. Let's do it. Whatever you need.
I think this is I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want you to know about this. I didn't want any of y'all to know about this. Not yet, anyway. But damn if you kids don't have a habit of getting yourselves into trouble. It's the second day of school.
I know. Isn't it bad though? Like we didn't
Walk and talk.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And
This is weird. Okay.
he has you following him, and he's walking quickly. And
way faster than I would think that I could move.
It's like one of those. It's like
With his little braces.
It's like
Damn it.
it's like a video game escort mission where the NPC doesn't quite move at the right speed, so he keeps running ahead and then stopping, waiting for you to catch up.
Come on, we must get to the tavern.
Let's see.
Hurry.
You were in
Forehead first into a locker. Just
Are you
moving.
coming? Are you coming? Are you
Why
coming?
are you not moving? Come on. Come on.
Okay, there you are. You were on the second floor. So he leads you around the corner, past the computer lab, and down the stairs to the first floor. And you continue going down the stairs to the basement level. The whole time as he's saying, "All right. I don't know how it is. Y'all keep getting yourself caught up in these kind of things. I am trying to keep things at bay. I am trying to keep this iteration from imploding on each of you, or from each of you imploding the iteration. But there are so many of you, and there's only technically, I guess 3 of me, but it's still not enough. You,
Yeah.
Heinz."
Wait, Hans? What do you mean, Hans? Hans is just... What?
Never mind. Forget I said that. Heinz is your guardian.
Yeah, as far as I knew, that was what it was. But
Yes, what I mean is Heinz is your guardian. He's supposed to keep you safe.
Yeah.
You can make a grit check if you would like, because he is
absolutely
absolutely
He's
stumbling
spilling the
over
beans.
his words.
He's spilling the beans, baby. But I got a 1, so it doesn't matter.
Well, maybe we'll see.
My grit is garbage.
Let's see. My grit isn't great either. Okay. That seems to make sense. You got a 4.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, just follow me, and you get to the basement level, which you know that the once you get to the bottom of the stairs here, that's it. They don't go down any further. You're on the basement level. Except as you're heading down these stairs, Dr. K pulls back his sleeve, and there are 3 different watches of different styles on his left arm. And he sets the dials on a couple and taps one, and you hear a succession of beeps. And as you round the corner, you see where the wall would be suddenly goes like digital pixels moving away, and there's another set of stairs that leads down.
Oh,
Lab.
the basement.
You continue to head down the stairs with him. Once you head through, he just taps his watch, and these pixels sort of move in together, closing the wall behind you. You continue down 3 more flights of stairs.
Listen, Doc, this is all well and good, but like Rosie's games tonight, and we were supposed to.
This is much more important than a basketball game, and besides, you'll be able to make the game. Trust me. We just need to. I need to bring you in on this.
Okay.
Because I cannot keep watching all of your friends and stop you from getting into fights, getting hit by trucks, having somehow getting wounded in art class of all places.
Wounded in art class? Who gets wounded in art class?
Not to mention the vampires and all. There's a whole. It's a lot, all right?
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't.
Just come with me, and he leads you down, not into a hallway that looks very much like the rest of the school, except all the lights are out except for light coming streaming in through open doors, and it has this sort of green matrixy look to it. And he walks partway down the corridor to a door that would be where a few floors up the gym is, and then above that the school auditorium is. And he stops and he says, "Now, I believe that you have the ability to comprehend and handle what you're about to see.
Sir,
I'm just trying to brace
so
you.
But I just want to preface, I'm 12, man. Like, it might be okay, but it also might explode my brain.
You are 12 years old, but you are the time anomaly. You know this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here, we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off, and he goes over to the next to the door. There's good old fashioned red fire alarm, and he pulls it down, and it just goes click, and then he swings it out, and there's a keypad behind it. And he...
Excuse me, what Inspector Gadget nonsense is this?
And then...
What are you doing?
As he keys... Just hold on. As he keys in a series of numbers, then you see a light goes... Pew, and he ducks down, and you see a light scan his eyes. And then another series of beeps, and then the panel goes... Slides down, and he places his hand on a palm scanner. When that's all done, you hear bing, and the doors in front of you, you hear a series of locks. Chikung, 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 chikung. As the doors open, you are looking into a room that looks like it would be the size of the gymnasium up above. But you are looking upon row upon row upon row of green backed tanks with silhouettes of people suspended in them. Every one of these tanks is sitting on some sort of a pedestal that has biometric readouts on them, small displays. The whole room is humming with electricity, and there's gentle beeping. It sounds a lot like being in a hospital where you hear the beeping and whirring of machinery.
I was just about to say that, like the smell of like iodine and like you know like and yet grease and just like all the something very similar to a hospital, like the beeps of a heart monitor kind of stuff.
But you also smell.
I totally hear that.
You also smell this sort of sickly sweet odor like transmission fluid, and you smell ozone like electricity. Dr. K says, "Well, come on," and motions you to come into the room.
Okay.
As soon as you step over the threshold, the doors close and lock behind you. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Wait.
He's just walking through right down the aisle. These tanks passing by.
Dr. K. What are these things? What are these tanks, man? What are these? Where are you taking me?
As you are heading down there, I would like you to roll me a D100, please.
Yes, indeed.
Man.
Okay, if I get a 90 on one and a 10 on another, that's a 91, right? Yeah. 90.
You got you got a
90 and then a
90.
10.
Yeah.
And then a double
I rolled
zero?
No, you got a 90 and a 0. That's just a 90.
90 and
90.
90 and a 0.
no,
right?
90 and a 10, so that would be 1, right?
You can't have 90.
You
and a
rolled
10.
two 10s dice.
No,
You
I rolled in.
snake.
No, I rolled. There's the 90, right? So I rolled
So it says 90.
90
His
and then a 10.
D10 lists
The
10 on the
is
10th
a 10,
side,
so it's a
instead of
0. So it's a 90
Yeah.
flat.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 90.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. In
Yeah,
this case, it's
a weird thing. Yeah.
I subscribe
your
to the
10th
school
place,
of
one
000
is your 100.
is
Or your
100.
One's place.
Gotcha.
So yes,
Yeah.
so
90.
you rolled a 90. So that's going to be. You glance over at the tank, one of the tanks next to you, and you can see the silhouette of an adult human inside, and they're sort of floating. There's tubes coming down from the top. This green fluid is illuminated and slightly murky, but the person is slightly just. There seems to be just this ever so slight current inside the tank, and the person suddenly. Boom, boom. It is a blonde-haired woman. The readout at the base reads Sonia Nielsen, metal shop. And then reads out age, gender, and a few other statistics. Roll me another D100. And one other person roll me a D100.
Plays in love with a robot.
Anybody?
Jeremy's got it. So I'm working.
Oh, there we go. For some reason I was scrolled up. I didn't see the numbers coming in. So that's a 76 and a 66. The next one you see a couple down is also a woman. A smaller woman, especially next to the 6 foot tall Sonia Nielsen, is Aria Lyric, the choir teacher. And the final one is a man, an older man, balding, about 5'6". Brian Bunsen, chemistry. Not
Wow.
every teacher is represented in these tanks. Without going into specifics, I'll say that you do spot a couple other teachers, and there's actually a couple other townsfolk that you spot in here. Just random people whose name you recognize from around town. One of the postal workers, somebody who is on the police force, Pastor Andrew Hill is another one. As you're processing this and you get near the end of the room, Dr. K turns a corner and he goes, "Oh, good. Have you sedated him?" And as you catch up, you come around the corner to see Laz strapped to a gurney and there's Hatchet standing over top of him.
Oh,
She now wears a black leather apron and has black rubber gloves on, and she's wearing a face shield. I was worried that something would be damaged. He's not happy about being down here. Laz, you were briefly distracted in the nurse's office. Only briefly, like for moments, you lost consciousness. Just enough to find yourself as Nurse Hatchet is strapping you down to this gurney in the nurse's office. You saw as she walked over to where in the wall of the room where there's, you know, like tongue depressors and cotton balls and the little scope for looking in your ear, nose, and throat. And she grabs from the where the tongue depressors are. She kind of slides to the side and presses a button on the back side of it, and that whole shelf goes and slides over, and she wheels you into an industrial elevator. What are you? You're not gagged at any point, so go ahead and take us through your reactions right up to the point where you now see Dr. K and Oak walking up on this scene.
So there's a lot of yelling, a lot of cursing. When he realizes that he's being restrained, he's, fuck no, you let me go right now. Let me go right now, and I won't tell anybody about this. Maybe.
oh, good.
It is in your best interest to not tell anybody about this. But as for being restrained, you have no choice.
You do have a choice.
No, you
And
have no choice. I've chosen to protect you. This is Nurse Ratchet, by the way.
your ass is fired, at the very least. My mom is gonna sue the ever-loving shit out of you, lady. You're not gonna be able to be a nurse for the Red Cross after this.
She does not respond to any more of this, and I imagine you're carrying on with this as she's wheeled you.
Oh, yeah,
she wheels you out of the elevator, and you get your first look at this room full of these back to tanks.
I think that's when he stops smarting off.
Oof.
When he sees that these tanks are absolutely 100% real.
As she slips on the leather apron, the face shield, and the rubber gloves, she wheels your gurney up next to one of these tanks. And she presses a few buttons, and additional lighting lights up, and you see yourself floating in the back of the tank. And this is when Dr. K and Oak come around the corner. And Oak, in addition to seeing Nurse Hatchet, you see Laz strapped onto this gurney, and you see Laz floating in the back to tank next to the gurney. As Nurse Hatchet is starting to opens up a hatch and is starting to pull some of these like connector, like hoses and electrical connections, just like whoop, 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 like she's gathering them up, almost like electrodes, like you'd put on somebody for an EKG or something like that.
Okay, hold up. Wait a minute now.
Oh,
That's my friend.
you gotta get me out of here, buddy.
Hey, buddy. No, look, I didn't want to. I don't know what's going on.
You can't trust him either, he says, looking at Dr. K.
What?
Fucker hit me in the head.
Wait.
I did not hit you in the head. I shot you with a tranquilizer. I shot you with a tranquilizer.
Wait.
Oh, well, in that case, this is fine.
get any better, man. It doesn't make it any better.
All right, listen.
How is...
As I explained
What?
to you, y'all have this propensity to get yourself into trouble as quickly as possible.
Okay. But you have my
We are
friend.
trying to help you. Contrary to what you think, we are among the most trustworthy people you are going to encounter.
How is this helping my friend? How?
We have
You want me to trust you? Let me out with this fucking thing. Unstrap me.
It's for your own safety while we make repairs. Now,
Repair.
I'm going to explain to you.
Repairs.
This is you. As he walks up and pats the glass on the tank. This is the real you.
Okay.
I'm
This
starting on
is
a real deficit
also
on
you.
that trust thing.
This is also you. But sort of a remote control unit. He reaches into your pocket and finds the washer.
Hey.
This is connecting you to yourself. He presses it, and immediately, Laz, your eyes open in the tank, and you are now looking out on the scene from inside the tank. You've got a breathing apparatus strapped to your mouth, and you are completely submerged in this tank.
There are literally like a plume of bubbles that come out, and if you could hear them, it would say, "This place sucks" as they pop.
And then he presses on the thing again, and just that quickly, you're back in this strapped down body. The Nexus Project is doing everything they can to get a hold of each and every one of you anomalies. I did this to protect you. You're mentally connected to this unit. It's not really technically a cyborg or an android. I call it the Bishop Project. And he kind of gives you a little self-satisfied smirk as he says that. By keeping you alive and contained within this tank, but mentally connected and piloting this Bishop unit, they can't actually hurt you. Lass, have you manifested any sort of psychic abilities, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, telepathy, extra strength, indestructible behavior? Are you a time anomaly, a werewolf, a vampire? Are you able to phase through objects?
No. But the thing with my hand's kind of fucking weird.
That's because you weren't supposed to know yet that you're piloting a Bishop unit. It's because you haven't yet manifested any psychic abilities, and all your friends have, that you are the most at risk. It makes you the most vulnerable and the most pliable to them. If they can get their hands on you, they can mold you how they want you to be.
Is that what happened to Billy?
Billy's abilities were already there. In the first iteration, when he and Jessica were brought to the laboratories beneath the processing plant, they were attempting to take control but did not yet know, because of their age, that they had already begun to manifest these latent abilities. Their testing exacerbated and expedited them, causing them to manifest rather abruptly. Because of your age, we're unsure why you haven't yet manifested any abilities, and now even some of the younger ones are manifesting. You're an outlier, Laz, and we need to protect you.
This is how you're gonna do it?
It's how we've been doing it. I just happened to stumble across you in the vice principal's office.
Oh.
I took advantage. It was a lot easier than what we had planned. Let's just say I didn't want to have to drive up on Stone Hill with a van and abduct you in your sleep. That had a lot more points of failure in it, let me tell you. Now, do you understand what's going on now? As he looks at you, Oak. Do you understand why I brought you into this?
Yeah, but also no, like at all. You just gave me a entire semester worth of homework without even thinking how that's going to affect my brain.
Can
So-
you keep this to yourself?
Well, yeah, I
No,
can't.
we got to tell everybody else.
When you say everybody else, I'm assuming you mean Kenny.
Can we tell our friends or no?
We gotta.
I think it's important that you tell your friends and only your friends.
Okay, well at least that's a boundary. That's something good. That's awesome. He at this point Oak has come up closer to the gurney and is like literally like holding Laz's hand or attempting to if Laz will let him. Like, I'm so sorry.
You can use your discretion talking to your friends. Nobody outside of your friend group is probably going to believe you. If you say anything to the wrong people, you're going to jeopardize all of yourselves and this entire everything we've got here. And he gestures to this entire lab full of these Bacta tanks. But I need to tell you, you need to exercise caution when talking to your friend Jessica.
Okay.
Why?
I cannot make heads or tails out of it, but ever since she showed up in Paradise, even in the first iteration, there's something not right about that girl.
Is it the mirrors?
I mean,
We've been dealing with a lot of weirdness, a lot of anomalies. Each of you is,
Say that again.
I mean, as I said, we got werewolves and vampires and time anomalies. Your friend Rosie is unbreakable.
duplicates. That's Jesse. Yep. Something like that, maybe.
Your friend Kenny has telepathic communication, and we have reason to believe that he's also talking with the dead. Not
Oh,
just
that's
living.
nice. Cool.
But whatever it is that is at the heart of Jessica's abilities, Director Ashley Raven always kept Jessica really close. She always maintained control of her full dossier. Everything else was redacted, quite frankly, to the rest of us. Dr. Sharp had his suspicions, but whatever it is, it doesn't fall under normal scientific research. It seems to be outside scientific laws. But I haven't been able to get my hands on anything. And if we can't fully categorize her into somewhere within the scientific studies, well, I don't trust that. Take that under advisement.
Okay.
Now, for now, you're going to need to stay in this bishop unit, Lazarus. Does that make sense?
I mean, do I have a fucking choice?
Right now, no.
Yeah, I kind of caught that.
All right. I want you, he turns to you, Oak. I want you to get that younger part of our brain turning on this. As you start mulling over things, it should start to filter through me some, and I can start to ruminate on your own theories and hypotheses.
All right. He looks to Laz, and then looks to the Laz in the tank. So I want to ask a question because I need to know. So if he experiences stuff in the Bishop, right? Does he like acknowledge it and know about it in the tank, or is like how is that working?
He walks up
I don't
to Laz and sort of pats you on the leg. The Bishop unit is like a mode of transportation. It's a vehicle. It does not have sentience of its own. Because of this processor, your consciousness is being wirelessly transmitted through the Bishop unit. You are controlling it. All the thoughts are yours, and yours alone. And they are originating here, and he indicates the back tank.
Okay.
Now, the other most important thing I can tell you, and he kind of looks over at Nurse Hatchet, who starts placing some of these electrodes on you, Laz, and he says, once you get out of here, you're going to go to your friend Rosie's game. I need you and all your friends try as hard as you can to be normal teenagers. Try. If you see weird stuff happening, run the other way.
Why do I get a feeling
Doc?
this is a little bit of an exasperated Jake too? I just need you guys to fucking chill out. I'm sorry.
Like holding Laz's hand, he just goes, Doc, this is heavy, man. Like this is a lot. This is a lot to.
It is a lot.
This shit
but
keeps
like I
falling on top of our heads or our hands.
Or wherever it wants to fall. Like, yeah, like how is it fair to ask teenagers to just like solve the world?
I feel pretty confident in saying that outside of you and your group of friends, almost nobody else in this school is going to run into as much trouble on an hour-to-hour basis as you all seem to get into. And that's only the stuff you've actually encountered. You have no idea how much stuff we've already prevented from happening.
I think there's a look of acknowledgement between Oak and Laz, like, yeah, no, that tracks. That sounds about right.
I don't know. As they start to, you hear some machinery electronics starting to whir and come online. As you, Laz, are seeing Nurse Hatchet leaning over you, sort of upside down. She's at your head and leaning over. And you see as she says, don't worry. This won't hurt too much. And you swear she's smiling a little bit. As she says that. And Dr. K just says, it's like every time you guys roll the dice, the numbers do not come up in your favor. And you feel as she touches something to your temples, you feel a jolt of electricity rush through your entire body, and there's just sort of this flash of white, and then again, and Oak, you see as this is happening, Dr. K's doing some things, and the physical damage to Laz's hand is being repaired. There seems to be some sort of nanotechnology at work here, where it seems to be sort of knitting itself together. And as this is happening, and we just see these jolts, and Oak kind of watching helplessly as Nurse Hatchet is more or less holding you in place, and and Dr. K is continuing to do some work. The camera starts to pan away, moving down this perpendicular row of back to tanks from where you came in, Oak. And as it does so, and we see tank after tank after tank full of Jakes.
That's awesome.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's
awesome.
session.
Tanks of Janks. Oh my god, I love it.
Jake tanks.
Jake tanks.
Sorry we ran a little bit long. I wanted to, once we got to that scene, I wanted to get it through to
So
a certain
good.
Oh
point.
my god. I don't know how, like,
Wow.
I don't know how
Mysteries.
Oak is gonna react now. So many things.
Oak is just gonna be comatose for the next
Dude, I wanted to be mad at my friend, but now I can't be mad, and now I'm like, what is happening? I'm mad at myself now. Can I have introspective anger? Yeah.
So, fun fact, when Dr. K almost spilled the beans about Heinz, that was me forgetting that Heinz made you forget about all of that. So that was
What?
me.
Fine.
That was me
Yeah.
scrambling and then going,
Yeah.
"Oh well, let's
No.
see.
perfect.
That's
Let's see if we
perfect.
figure this
No.
out." Because I
Because
don't
that's-
remember everything I say in these sessions.
So you wiped his memory, so he doesn't remember that conversation. But I like the fact that you now have told him, so that might trigger him remembering that conversation later, and then him going for the watch again at some point.
But I will
For
say,
real.
I use this as an opportunity, not being able to remember everything I say, to once again thank Tomiko, who behind
Oh.
the scenes every week goes through and rewatches the session and compiles notes that are, at the very least, they're a wonderful summary of what happened. And sometimes, if Tomiko has the time, they are very detailed. And
Awesome.
they've been a lifesaver more than once. For me, just to remember a lot of the little things that take place, and for everybody just to remember what happened from session to session. So thank you so much for that, Tomiko. We do greatly appreciate that. Thanks to you all. As I said, over the last couple sessions, we're getting close to where we're going to do a time jump. I would like to, I think we've got one more session because we need to see. I don't think we're going to role play the game, because Carrie, you know sports. I'm going to have you provide a sort of narrative overview of the highlights of the game, however you want to do that.
Can do.
And then I think truly for the first time, assuming everybody's able to be here next week, you will finally get to have your meeting that you've wanted to
my
have, which
God.
seems like forever.
And pizza.
It's really only 12 sessions. Or it's 12 sessions, but it's really only 2 days that you've been waiting to get together.
So that means we're doing a day and 6 games. So if we keep
It's
up
happening.
this track,
Will the kids finally get their pizza?
Well,
Will-
that would be
Will
fine.
out
Billy
next
get
time.
kicked out of the establishment for breaking
it's
a mirror?
Same
it's
time,
like,
same channel.
it's like the story progression of Dragon Ball Z, where they literally get through maybe 15 minutes of the 30-minute episode and everything else is just build up,
Right.
build up.
So with that, I do want to say just a quick reminder to everybody that on April 20th, you're going to want to tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific to see Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, Zephyr Against the Mist. Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick will be leading Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton in a Dungeons & Dragons charity live stream event, raising money for the Pavlov Foundation, who are fighting the good fight against childhood cancer. We have set up a goal of $50,000 for this auction, for this charity event. And part of that is that we do have seats up for bid. See if I can do this. I want to see what the current total is. It's still sitting at $5,250. This is a
Jeez
high ticket
Louise.
thing, but all of this money is going to benefit fighting childhood cancer through the Pavlov Foundation. We do hope that that you'll show up, support. There'll be lots of opportunities to donate to affect the game. There'll be some giveaways. There'll be some donation incentives, and it's just going to be a blast. This is Jonathan Frakes' first time ever playing D&D, and it is definitely not Will Wheaton, Todd Stashwick, Deborah Ann Wool's first time playing. I believe it may be only the second or third time that Michelle Hurd has played. Last September was an amazing event, was our inaugural event. This one's promising to be exceptional. So we hope to see you there. I want to say a huge thank you to all of the people who are popping in and out. We have seen, as we've announced this event, we've got literally hundreds of new people coming to the channel in anticipation of this. And some people are stopping by to watch the shows. So welcome if you're somebody new here. We hope you enjoy the presentations we're doing. We have a couple games a week like this, different genres, Pathfinder, D&D, Kids on Bikes, and some of us appear on each other's channels for other games. In fact, I'll be over on Erasmus Expeditions tomorrow. Chad, are you in that one? I don't remember. No. Okay.
Don't remember. Yeah, look,
Nope,
if I
it's
am,
the Littles one.
send me a link. Let me know because I'll forget.
I mean, we all play in each other's games so much, it's hard to remember who's in which games. Last week I was
Which
over.
channel was it on?
Yeah, last week I
and-
was on Nerdarchy with Ted for the Old Guard, which we play once a month. So lots of great stuff going on. You'll be able to find on youtube.com/mini terrain domain. We have VODs of all of our games. You can catch up on previous episodes of our Kids on Bikes, etc. Thank you to everybody in chat. It was really active tonight. I love seeing the conversations happening, though I can't always participate. It's just awesome seeing people really engaged with the game or having conversations. We really appreciate that. If you are somebody that likes to lurk silently in the background, we do have a lurk command. It doesn't do anything except say that you're lurking, but it's kind of fun. And I think there's even an unlurk command that you can do. But yeah, if you're like somebody that likes to lurk, or maybe you're watching on the VOD later, just know that we appreciate you and we hope you enjoy these presentations. We enjoy sharing our games with you. With that, I want to say a final tremendous thank you to some of the most amazing people that I get to call my friends, and we get to play in this weird, wonderful world together on a weekly basis. It's so much fun. I love each and every one of them. Thank you, Chad, Tamiko, M, Carrie, Ted, and Jeremy, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Chopper, sick ball.